as I said at the beginning, you're born defeated. And that birth can never bring you to life because you're born defeated. And you're in a defeated world amongst defeated people, amongst defeated creeds, defeated denominations. You've got to come to victory some way. It's just like a lily. Whereas a lily, I think, is one of the most prettiest flowers that there is. I'm very fond of those great cow lilies and pond lilies. I think there's nothing hardly as pretty as a great big pond lily, call it water lily. How its radiance. And where does it come from? It's a little seed down in the bottom of a muddy, mucky pond. And that little seed, yet all the radiance that'll ever shine in it is in it right then when it's in that mud. But it has to strive daily, knowing that there's something, it's black, it's dirty, it's mucky, it's slimy, and that slime that it's living in. Yet it presses its way through the mud, the muck, and the waters and the stagnant places until it sticks its head above in the light and expresses what's been hid in it all the time. I think that's an overcomer. That once in sin, once did things that was wrong. Don't worry about it now. Once did things that was wrong. Then, now, why look back into the pond again? See, look, you have God, by His predestination, see, has brought this seed to life. And it's pressing itself. See, coming to life. And now, on top of all of that, it has overcome. See, it doesn't express itself down there. It's getting up to express itself. Neither did you in your sin and adultery and everything that you lived in. You didn't express that, but there was a seed in there. Amen. And it got a chance to press itself into life. And now you're in the presence of Jesus Christ with the sunlight. It brought out what you really was in the beginning. You see what I mean? You saw the light. You bloomed out. You laid your heart open. And now you're a lily. You remember my sermon on the lily. Reverend Lily. How he toils, and yet does he not spin, and yet Solomon in all his glory is not arrayed like one. He look at him. He's ready to get. He takes nothing for himself. The lily don't care nothing about himself. What does he do? He throws his beauty out, his life, that others might see. His life is expressed out, that others might see the glory. What's in him? That was in him in that mud. Now he's on top. That's the overcomer. He overcome the mud. He overcome the things of the world. And now he freely gives himself out. Everybody can look at him. His life, you can't put a finger on it. He's a real overcomer. You can't say anything about him now. We're saying come out of the mud, but he's not in the mud now. He's on top of it. Amen. You can't point back what he was. What is he now? Amen. He's on top. Then the bee comes by and says, that wonderful perfume, I believe I'll go and get my part. He just opens up his heart. Come on, I'm all right. Everything takes from him. See, he's a real pastor. He expresses the glory of God, and look where he come from. He had to overcome to do that. One time, he or she was young and fair, beautiful. They had a lot of temptations to go through, but they overcome that, see. They overcome now to expressing the real beauty of Christ in their life. Notice, expressing through the mud. Jesus gave us the example how to do it. Now we want to know how to overcome. Jesus told us how to do it. See? Humility. Girded himself, took a towel, washed the disciples' feet, and wiped them. The very God of heaven humiliating himself. We don't want to be humiliated. That's the reason women don't want their hair to grow out. That's right. Amen. The reason they don't want to dress like ladies should dress, like man don't want to. See, it's the same thing. They get humiliated. But Jesus constantly, look who He was. Greatness, I'm going to say something. Greatness humiliates itself. Grace humbles itself. Greatness. I've had the privilege of meeting some great men. And it's these guys that's got a change of clothes and 50 cents in their pocket and to rattle. That's the guy that thinks he's something when he's nothing. But I stood with great man. I mean, great man with ragged sleeves, cuffs. And they make you think you're the great person. See? Greatness is humility. Don't forget that, church. Greatness is expressed in humility. Not how fine you can be. I don't mean dirty now. I mean humble in spirit. Amen. See? I don't mean just get out and over wash and clean up. That you should do that. You know that. See? But I'm talking about humility, genuine humility, not something put on. Something it is. That's real humility. Jesus told us how to do it. He overcome. Overcome means to stand the test. That's right. Like all the old saints did. Like Jesus did. In the midst of all of His enemies, He stood the test. Everything He was tested against, He stood it. In the very face of sickness, and Him being Messiah, He healed it. In the face of death, He brought it back to life. In the face of Calvary's own death, He defeated it. By surrendering Himself. Why? By the Word. Said, you destroy this temple and I'll raise it up in 3 days. The Word said so. And in the presence of death, He defeated it. He overcome death. In the presence of hell, He defeated hell and overcome hell. Yes. In the presence of the grave, He overcome the grave. Amen. Why? All by the Word and humility. Oh my. There's the real man. There's the one that makes your example. See, He defeated everything, overcome it. Look, temptation was for Him. Did you know that? The Bible said He is tempted in all points like we are, yet without sin. He was tempted by drinking. He was tempted by women. He was tempted by everything that could be tempted by. He was tempted by everything that we are. He was a man. And yet you couldn't put a mark on Him. Yes, sir. Overcome means to recognize the devil in every one of his tricks. A lot of people says there is no devil. It's just a thought. Don't you believe that? There's a real devil. Amen. Just as real as you are, anybody. A real devil. And you must recognize him real. You must know he's a devil. And then at the same time that you recognize him and know it, he's a devil and he's against you, then to overcome you must recognize that the God in you is greater and mightier than he is. That the one that's in you has already overcome him. And by His grace you're more than a match for him. Amen. There's real overcoming. When you recognize, you look back and say, I'm doing this